What's going on, guys? It's Seth here, and today I am back with yet another college football prediction video, and this time the number 7th ranked Tennessee Volunteers versus the number 15th ranked Oklahoma Sooners. This is first of many because, as you guys know, that Oklahoma is now in the SEC, and last time these two played was a few years back, so it's good to see these two teams play again. So this game will be played on September 21st of 2024. I'm kind of surprised that this game isn't a game like a what do you call it? College game day is not going to this game, but I think they're going to Ohio State versus Marshall. That's kind of a strange game, but I think that the rankings for this game will also change. I think Oklahoma will probably go up, and Tennessee will probably go up as well too. So the rankings will change, but as of now, Tennessee is ranked number 7th in the country, and Oklahoma is ranked 15th in the country. And as you guys also know, that I like to do slideshows for the prediction videos now differently than what I've done in the past for making prediction videos. All right, so this game will be played in Norman, Oklahoma for the Memorial Stadium for the Sooners. It's a pretty cool stadium. It looks like it looks huge as well. So Oklahoma are usually packed out all the time. They got a great fan base. That's going to be a tough environment to play in. Oklahoma is always a decent team, though they've had their struggles with defense here and there. But with Venables as the head coach, I think they're going to be a solid team in the SEC for years to come as well. So yeah, it will be Memorial Stadium. I don't know what the time is, so probably be maybe like a 3 p.m. game and a night game. But if you do know, I'll probably look it up later. It'll probably be maybe a primetime game. So this is going to be an interesting game to see. All right, the last meeting between these two was in September 12th of 2015. I think it was the third game of the week. And, of course, Baker Mayfield beat the Tennessee Volunteers 31-24 in Knoxville, Tennessee. So that game was very electric, very intense, I believe. I mean, it's a close game, 31-24. I don't remember that game, to be honest with you. But they did meet back in 2015 on September 12th. So that maybe, I think that is like the third game of the year. So something like that for a matchup. All right, so previous game, Tennessee destroyed Kent State. It was like 65-0 at halftime. It could have gone 100-200 versus Kent State. They were just that bad, and it was just bad. Like Tennessee just annihilated them in the first quarter. It was just so bad. They didn't do anything in the second half because they didn't want to embarrass Kent State even more. So they're 3-0. Oklahoma had a solid win against Tulane, 34-19. Tulane's usually decent, I think, in my opinion, going up against Power 4 schools, or maybe it's Tulsa, but Tulane, I think, is also decent. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I don't really know how well they are. But that was a solid win for Oklahoma with 34-19. So they're both 3-0. So this is a key game for this upcoming weekend, because if you win against a top-tier matchup, then you have a solid resume going out throughout the rest of the year, potentially trying to go to the SEC championship and the college football playoffs, since it's 12 teams. Oh, all right. So the matchup predictor has Tennessee by a whopping 66.6%. That's not a nice number compared to Oklahoma, 33.4%. So it's still going to be a very close game, but they still favor Tennessee by 30 plus points in the percentage of the match predictor. I don't know what the whole betting odds for ESPN is, so I just put the match predictor on ESPN. All right, so usually, like I do, as always, is the offense top 3 players and the defense top 3 players from both teams. So we have quarterback Nico Iamaleava. I can't pronounce that name, dude. Iamaleava, whatever. Lava, something like that. Gosh, I just butchered that whole last name. So he is going to be a monster. He's only a freshman this year. He has dynamically changed Tennessee in his game 3, and he's going to be a really solid quarterback in the near future as well, and probably a first top 5 draft pick in years to come. All right, he went 10 for 16 for completions to attempts, 173 passing yards, averaged about 10.8 per throw, 1 touchdown and 0 interceptions. Yes, the stats are like that, but he probably didn't play that much because they just dominated the whole game. And of course, running back Deshaun Bishop had 7 carries, 120 yards, 17 yards average per run, per carry and 2 touchdowns. He was the leading rusher, so I'm sure Tennessee fans will comment down below that Dylan Sampson had 4 touchdowns, but I'm just going by the leader of the rushing yards and whoever was the first player on the stats. And, of course, wide receiver Dante Thornton had 2 receptions, 64 yards, averaged about 32 yards per catch, and 0 touchdowns. Like I said down below, running back Dylan Sampson, 4 touchdowns. Wide receiver Brazel, 1 touchdown. Matthews, 1 touchdown. Kisselman, 1 touchdown. So it was a lot of touchdowns against Kent State. All right, so we got players of the week for Oklahoma. We got Jackson Arnold, who's honestly better than Dylan Gabriel. A lot of Oklahoma Sooners fans would probably agree as well. He had 18 completions, 29 attempts, 169 passing yards, averaged about 5.8 yards per throw, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Running back Javante Barnes had 14 carries, averaged about 53 rushing yards, and then averaged about 3.8 yards per carry. Had 0 touchdowns. Of course, as you see down below, Jackson Arnold had 2 rushing touchdowns. He basically led the rushing with 93 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. Wide receiver Dion Burks, who is their go-to guy, had 7 receptions, 80 yards, averaged about 11.4 per catch, had a solid day, though he had no touchdowns, and the only touchdown was to Taylor Tatum with 1 receiving touchdown. So there you have it for the top 3 players of the week for Oklahoma. All right, so the top 3 players of the week for defense. We have Idris Faru, and I don't know how to pronounce that name. I would probably just destroyed it. He had 6 total tackles, 2 solo, and we have defensive back. Oh, he was defensive back. Jacoby Thomas had 4 total tackles, 3 solo. And we have defensive lineman Kellen Lindstrom had 4 total tackles and 2 solo. They probably used a lot of players because they pretty much dominated all throughout that game. And, of course, we have Oklahoma had Danny Stutzman had a solid day with 12 total tackles, 6 solo, 0.5 tackle for loss. Solid day for him. Defensive back Robert Spears Jennings had 7 total tackles, 6 solo, 0.5 tackles for loss. So pretty good day for Oklahoma's defense as well. We have Dejon Terry with 4 total tackles and 3 solo, and their only interceptions on defense was defensive back by Billy Bowman. So they had a solid defense as well, for it looks like on stats-wise, based off their stats. Okay, so the total stats of full team stats, I put it on ESPN. We have Tennessee only allowed 112 total yards. That's insane. It had 740 total yards on offense for passing and rushing. That's crazy. They only allowed 58 passing yards. That's wild. And they only allowed 54 rushing yards. And they had 456 rushing yards. That's crazy. And they had only 284 passing yards. Though their time management, Kent State had 28 minutes, but that's just how it was because they're probably on the field on offense very quickly. And, of course, Tennessee had 31 minutes compared to 28, so that's pretty good. Oklahoma, they allowed not too bad. They only allowed 179 total yards. That's really solid, in my opinion. They only allowed 173 passing yards, and they only allowed 106 rushing yards. So that's pretty good for a normal game like that. So they only allowed 106 rushing yards, pretty good, and they only allowed less than 300 passing yards, or less total yards. Passing, yeah, they only allowed less than 200 passing yards. So that's a pretty solid defense for Oklahoma. And then, of course, for time possession, they had 31 minutes compared to Tulane 28. Okay, lastly, I know some Sooner fans or some Volunteer fans may not like this video, but I think, in my opinion, I don't know how well Oklahoma will do against Tennessee. I watched Tennessee a little bit more this year compared to Oklahoma, so maybe come out as biased, but let me tell you that I am not a Tennessee Volunteers fan. I'm not an Oklahoma Sooners fan. I'm just basing this off of what I've seen, and I think that Tennessee will win off of minus 10 points as the favorite to win against this Oklahoma. I know Oklahoma has a solid defense. Brent Venables is a solid head coach. It's going to be a tough atmosphere in Oklahoma, but I think that Tennessee is legit this year. I could be totally wrong. Like, Georgia almost lost to Kentucky at Kentucky 13-12, so anything can happen in this game. I really thought that Kentucky was going to beat Georgia. That's crazy. But anyways, so anything can happen. Nothing is given. So I think that still Tennessee will win by minus 10 points. I think we'll have a touchdown throughout the whole game and maybe like a late field goal to kind of ice the game, in my opinion. All right, guys, step 42 here. Y'all have a great rest of the day. See y'all next time. And comment down below what you guys think as well. Who's going to win this game? All right, guys, peace out.